The fire test. My friends left me to burn, my victim saved me. The smell of betrayal. They say your life flashes before your eyes when you die. That's a cliché. It's not a movie montage. When I thought I was dying, lying under 1,000 pounds of burning oak, I didn't see my childhood. I saw a pair of expensive Nike sneakers running away from me. I'm writing this because the news calls me a survivor and my brother a hero, but they don't know the ugly truth underneath the soot. They don't know that for 10 years, I was the villain of this story. This is the confession of how I almost killed my brother with cruelty, and how he saved me with a courage I didn't deserve. The King and the Ghost. I wasn't born mean. I learned it. In our town, you were either a wolf or a sheep. By high school, I was the leader of the pack. I was the quarterback, the prom king, the guy everyone wanted to be. And to keep that crown, I needed someone to step on. That someone was Lucas. Lucas was 18 months younger, but he might as well have been a different species. He was quiet, asthmatic, and carried a sketchbook like a shield. He stuttered when he was nervous. And I made sure he was nervous a lot. It started small. Tripping him in the hallway. Laughing when his art supplies spilled. But it evolved into a performance. If I wanted to make the cheerleaders laugh, I'd mock Lucas. If I wanted to bond with Mike and Sarah, my elite circle, I'd use Lucas as the punchline. Hey Jace, isn't that your brother talking to himself? Mike would sneer. Him? Nah, just the family charity case, I'd reply, loud enough for Lucas to hear. I saw the light die in his eyes a little more every day. I convinced myself it was tough love. I told myself he needed to man up. But deep down, I knew the truth. I was weak, and hurting him made me feel strong. The Friday ritual. Fast forward to college. We went to the same university, which was my nightmare. I spent 3 years pretending he didn't exist. I was the frat president. He was the weird art kid who sat in the back of the lecture hall. It was a Friday in late November. Finals week. The library was packed. I was in the reference section on the 3rd floor, ostensibly studying, but actually flirting with Sarah. Mike was there too, scrolling on his phone. Let's get out of here, Sarah whined, twirling her hair. This place smells like old dust. 10 more minutes, I said, leaning back in my chair, balancing on 2 legs. I need to pretend I read this history chapter. I didn't know Lucas was in the building. If I had, I probably would have made a joke about it. The library was a labyrinth of old wood, narrow aisles, and poor ventilation. It was a tinderbox waiting for a spark. I remember looking out the window at the snow falling. It was so peaceful. I felt untouchable. I was young, rich, and popular. Nothing could touch Jason Miller. The spark and the roar. The alarm didn't sound like a normal fire drill. It was a guttural buzz that vibrated in your teeth. Then came the sound, a whoosh like a jet engine taking off inside the building. The explosion happened in the renovation wing next door, blowing out the connecting wall. 1 second, I was laughing. The next, the world tilted sideways. The shockwave threw me out of my chair. The ceiling above the history section groaned, and a massive support beam snapped. I tried to scramble back, but I wasn't fast enough. The tall oak bookcase behind me toppled forward. Crack! It slammed onto my left leg. The pain was immediate and blinding, white-hot agony that stole the breath from my lungs. I screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the roar of the fire. The dry paper of 1,000 books caught instantly. The heat was a physical wall, slamming into us. Mike! Sarah! I screamed, clawing at the carpet. Help me! I'm pinned. The calculus of cowardice. This is the moment that haunts my nightmares. The smoke was descending from the ceiling like a thick gray curtain. I could taste the chemicals. I looked up and saw them. Mike and Sarah were 10 feet away, near the end of the aisle. They were unhurt. They stopped. They looked back. For a heartbeat, time froze. I locked eyes with Mike. We had been friends since freshman year. I had covered for him when he cheated on exams. I had paid his bail once. I thought we were brothers. I saw his eyes dart from my trapped leg to the wall of fire advancing from the left. I saw him do the math. Jason is heavy. The shelf is heavy. The fire is fast. He didn't panic. That would have been forgivable. He chose. He grabbed Sarah's arm. She looked at me, mouthed, "Oh my God," and then let him pull her away. "Sorry, Jace," Mike shouted over the roar. Then they turned and sprinted toward the emergency exit. Acceptance of the end. I didn't scream after them. The betrayal sucked the air out of me faster than the fire. I was going to die. I knew it. The heat was unbearable now, singing the hair on my arms. My leg was numb, which was worse than the pain. The smoke forced me to press my face into the dirty carpet to find a pocket of breathable air. I started to cry. Not for my life, but for how empty it was. I realized in those final minutes that I had built a kingdom of garbage. My popularity was fake. My friends were fake. And the only person who had ever actually loved me, my brother, I had pushed away until he was a stranger. I'm sorry, Lucas, I thought. I'm so sorry. The darkness started to creep in at the edges of my vision. The roar of the fire sounded like the ocean. I closed my eyes and waited for the heat to take me. The ghost returns. I heard coughing. Wet, violent coughing. I thought I was hallucinating. But then, a hand grabbed my shoulder. Jason! Jace! Wake up! I opened my stinging eyes. Through the haze of gray smoke, a figure was kneeling over me. He had a wet t-shirt tied around his face like a bandit mask. He was skinny, trembling, and his skin was already red from the heat. It was Lucas. Lucas? I wheezed. Get out. It's gonna collapse. Shut up, he choked out. He grabbed the bookshelf. The varnish was bubbling from the heat. He didn't have gloves. He grabbed the burning wood with his bare hands. I'm going to lift. You pull. On 3. He was asthmatic. He had never lifted weights in his life. He shouldn't have been able to move it. 1. 2. 3. Lucas screamed, a primal, guttural sound I'd never heard from him. He shoved upward. The VE ins in his neck popped. The shelf moved 2 inches. The long walk through hell. I dragged my leg free, screaming as the blood rushed back into the crushed limb. Lucas dropped the shelf and collapsed to his knees, wheezing. He fumbled for his inhaler in his pocket, took a desperate puff, and grabbed me. Arm around me, he gasped. He hauled me up. I was 50 pounds heavier than him. He became my crutch. We moved through the inferno. The heat was so intense it felt like physical blows. Books were exploding around us. Why? I asked, delirious. Why did you come back? He didn't look at me. He just kept walking, staring at the exit sign. Because Mom would be sad if you died, he muttered. He was lying. He didn't do it for Mom. He did it because, unlike me, he hadn't let the world turn him cruel. We burst through the emergency doors into the freezing night air just as the third-floor windows blew out behind us. We collapsed onto the snow, tangled together, gasping for oxygen. The hospital charade. I woke up 2 days later. My leg was in a fixator. My lungs felt like sandpaper. My parents were there, crying, holding my hands. And in the corner, sitting in a plastic chair, was Lucas. His hands were heavily bandaged. He was sketching in a new book. Then the door opened. Jace! Oh my God, bro! It was Mike. And Sarah. They walked in with balloons and Starbucks cups. They looked fresh, clean, and concerned. We tried to get to you, Mike said, putting on a tragic face for my parents. The smoke was too thick. The firemen held us back. We thought you were dead, man. Sarah wiped a fake tear. It was traumatizing. My parents looked at them with gratitude. Thank you for being such good friends to him, my mom said. I looked at Lucas. He didn't say a word. He just kept sketching, his head down. He was used to being silenced. He was used to me choosing them over him. But the Jason who went into that fire burned to death. The man in the bed was someone else. The exorcism. Get out, I rasped. The room went silent. Mike laughed nervously. What? It's the meds talking, bro. I sat up, ignoring the pain. I said get out. I saw you. Mike's smile faltered. Saw what? I saw you look at me. I saw you calculate the odds. And I saw you run. Jason, you were in shock, Sarah started. Lucas came back. I shouted, my voice cracking. My brother, who I treated like dirt for 10 years, ran into a fire for me. You two ran away. I pointed a trembling finger at the door. If I ever see you again, I will tell everyone exactly what you are. Cowards. Leeches. Leave. They didn't argue. They saw the look in my eyes. They turned and fled, leaving the balloons bobbing against the ceiling. My parents were stunned. I turned to the corner. Lucas, I said softly. Come here. He walked over, wary, protecting his bandaged hands. I'm sorry, I said, and for the first time in my life, I meant it entirely. I started to cry, ugly, racking sobs. I am so sorry for everything. The masterpiece. It's been 6 months. I walk with a cane now. I lost my football scholarship. I lost my popularity. And I have never been happier. Last night was the University Art Showcase. Lucas had the main exhibit. I stood next to him, leaning on my cane. The gallery was packed. His collection was titled The Burning Library. It was charcoal and oil. Dark, terrifying images of smoke and fire. But the centerpiece was a massive canvas. It showed a figure lying broken on the floor, and another figure, made of light, lifting a heavy beam off him. "This is incredible," a critic said to Lucas. "What inspired this?" Lucas looked at me. He didn't stutter. He stood tall. "My brother," he said. "He's the survivor in the painting." I stepped forward and put my arm around his shoulder. "No," I corrected him, loud enough for the whole room to hear. "I'm just the guy in the wreckage. He's the hero." We stood there, the jock and the artist, the bully and the victim, finally on the same side. The moral of the ash. We spend our lives building circles of people who look good standing next to us. We chase status, validation, and cool. But fire is the great revealer. When the heat rises, the fake varnish melts away. I learned the hard way that the people you party with aren't necessarily the people who will bleed for you. Family isn't just about blood, and strength isn't just about muscles. Sometimes, the person you push down is the only one strong enough to lift you up. If you have a Lucas in your life, call them. Apologize. Thank them. Because you never know when the roof is going to cave in.